So the doctor comes in and is when he began to explain to me that, hey, the child has a birth defect. My first time hearing anything like that. And she has club foot, that's why her feet are turned inwardly the way they are. And she seems to be having an underlying condition, but we can't quite put our finger on it. So if you see the child, she's fractured. So I'm like, this club foot business, can they do anything about it? And they're like, yeah, we can begin casting immediately. And I'm like, and what's going on with the arms? They're like, oh, she fractured her arm. She had no room to grow. It's like she had no room to grow when she was in my tummy. Obviously, I'm like, and how was this not detected all along? Just blank stares. Blank stares. Anyway, so we begin casting, yes. What happens to the arms? Okay, so now we need to sort of turn her arms facing forward, then we put a fracture on the arm, the way you do, an adult. That was how my motherhood journey began. It was just seeing, your baby in bandages. That was what it was. It was just bandages from here till Timbuktu. So it was a very strange journey for me, my beginning of motherhood, because I'm finding myself where I've just become a mom. I have to now start educating myself on, okay, what is this birth defect business? And where are these cases in Kenya? And you Google these things and you just find, it's only people from America who are responding to such cases. So I'm like, are there no people in Kenya who have these cases, And what's going on with her arms? What happened? So you find yourself where you're trying to look for information, you're trying to educate yourself, and then here comes the nurse, oh, by the way, we need to feed this child. I had no milk. Like I was too traumatized. So the child had no milk, I had no milk, it refused to come out. I believe it's just state of mind. And I think there was a lot of shock. I was trying to process everything. And I'm trying to be a strong woman. So, I was almost in the place where I'm telling people, please don't tell people I have a child yet. Because I'm like, how will I begin to explain this? Because at some point, you're like, I did something I didn't do, or there's something I ate. Self-blame is something that I really went through that over and over again. And anyway, we began the journey of casting. So with clubfoot, what happens is they cast the child's legs while manipulating. So they'll manipulate the leg, then cast. Just small steps, because as a child, there's a lot that can be done. They're still very flexible and malleable. So they'll manipulate, cast, like that until the foot sort of is in a normal position. Then from there, that takes about 8 to 10 weeks, depending on the case. So for her, because of this underlying condition that she had, they were not too sure, what's this thing? Because she was very stiff-jointed as a child. But it's something that takes 10 years. So each week, I have to be in hospital, back again for her cast to be changed. And as a newborn child, it is important that you're there every week. But this was not the case, even after I left hospital and was, still continuing with her care. So you'd find us in clinics, and people have traveled from far. And, when we're at the clinic, I'd talk to the different moms who have the child, and some were, elderly kids. And I'm like, is it that you guys didn't know about this and all? But they began to say in their community, the stigmatization was insane. So the children are not being exposed. So I find when people come, the baby is asleep. So nobody wants to expose that, no, there's actually a problem with the child. And even for me, in a way, COVID worked in my favor, because now you didn't have so many people visiting, so I had time to process everything that was going on. What's going on with the child? Why was I given this child? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing? Oh my goodness, is this thing in the family? Is this thing not, is it on my side of the family? Is it on the guy's side of the family? And there was nothing. There's been never a case like this in either of our homes. So she was the first. All right, so I would attend the clubfoot clinics. I'd meet different moms. Because just as a person, I'm very social, so I'd always begin a conversation to find out, how their journey has been with them, with the child. And there were moms with children that different ages, and I was not understanding because my child was literally weeks old. And it became very clear that there's a lot of stigmatization here, that there's a lack of awareness here in Kenya on where moms can be able to go to seek treatment with kids born with clubfoot. So it was either, they had something on the radio, but they were not sure, or there was a mobile camp that came around their area, and when the child was assessed, that they found the child to have clubfoot. And you find each mother had their own story. For somebody else, they're believing that, this child was given to us by God, and the way the child is the way the child is supposed to be, so they're not going to tamper around with it. For some, it's obviously the challenges of finance in terms of them fearing that this is going to be an expensive affair. You probably have a family that you're also taking care of, and when you weigh the two, you're like, let me just let the child chill for a minute there. But I'll tell you, 0 to 5 years is so crucial for a child. It's the time to intervene for any child who's been born, especially with a correctable disability, because clubfoot is a correctable disability. So that is where I began my journey to understand what is it about. First of all, what is this birth defects, and can they be prevented?